cloud. Okay, everybody will have to acknowledge it as well. Hey, welcome to our 2024 study guide preparation for NFHS basketball and for the EBOA. With me today, tag team in it is going to be Jason Bullinger, our trainer, one of our trainers heading up the Veterans Division, and was our trainer last year as well. And we want to try something new this year. Instead of having a noisy restaurant, which we all love restaurants, but got a little loud last year, and so figured we'd try something a little different, record it for those that can't make it to our normal meeting or to this Zoom itself. And of course, we're going to post this on EBOA videos on YouTube. So that'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'll just share the whole screen so we can see this exam. Well, this is the study guide. There we go. So why don't we do this? Let's just read through them. Some of these are going to be really easy, so we can kind of skip through them, and we'll pause for a few seconds after each question if we need to see if anybody has any questions or thoughts on it. But let's see if we can get this done here in an hour to an hour and a half, and we'll go from there. Jason, you want to start with number one?
Yeah, are we doing 201? You got 201 first, so I guess
let's do 101 first.
Okay, go ahead and put 101 up.
Let's go 101. There we go. Okay, take it away.
All right, so I'm just going to call on someone. Go ahead and read the question. Errol's got it up there, and then give us the appropriate answer. We can talk about, correct or incorrect, or discuss as needed. So let's just move through these. Brad, you're first on my screen, so why don't you take question one?
Because my name starts with a B, sir.
Right.
Which following things must the referee verify with head coach before the game? And it is C, team members' uniforms and equipment are legally and properly worn.
That is correct. And if you'll notice on these study guides, they're very helpful. There are rules references, so you can find, see exactly where to go. All right, Stetson, number two.
Oh, how many rules are there? There's 10. C.
Correct.
Pretty simple.
Tom Martinko, number three.
Sorry, I got to get off mute. How many bullet points are in the officials' code of ethics? 10.
That is correct. Number four, let's go to Tim G.
Yeah, hi there. It's how many types of violations are there? And sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here.
Hey guys.
Hey, John.
Shit, I better go on here.
I am searching.
Hey, if you got your rule books, look up page 45 in the rule book. It's rule 446. What's the reference on here?
445. It says page 82.
82, yes. Page 82.
Well, page 82 is kind of helpful, but page 45 actually defines what a violation is.
Either one.
Violation. 3 types of rule infractions which are listed.
Okay, pause there. So what's the answer?
3.
There you go. So that's types of violations, not actual violations, right? So it's kind of a tricky question.
Yep, and Rule 4 defines those as far as what those types are. All right, let's go to Phil Barraclough. Question 5. This is a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so happy Tuesday, everyone. So I'm going to say it's C, 41.
Go ahead and read the question, if you will, Phil.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. How many official WOA basketball signals are there? And I selected C for 41.
Yeah, so this is a
There's-
tricky one because there are 41 in the WOA mechanics manual. However, the correct answer is 43 because, and Errol was the one that discovered this. If you took the clinic, they added 2 signals. One is the new flop signal, which is this. And then the second one is a little circular as far as mark it in the book. So marking the warning in the book, the flop warning.
Well, hang on, Jason, because what happened, it's going to be 43, but it's not going to be 43 on the test. So it was 43 that morning. The test got changed to 41 later that day.
Yeah. So Errol and I both, I answered 41. I think he answered 43 or something
No,
like
Bill,
that. And we both
Bill
got
Blue
it wrong.
did. Bill Blue got 40, or Bill had the correct answer at 43 earlier in the
Yeah.
morning. Later that day, a test was taken and took it 41. I took it the next day and answered 41 and got it right.
So they've corrected it since I
Yes.
took it. So,
Yes.
but so that was a fun one.
Yeah.
So for purposes of the test, it would be 41.
Here's why that's tricky, by the way, because in the NFHS manual, it's 39. Okay.
Correct.
In the
And
NC,
then I added 2.
yeah, the only way to find the most updated manual is to go to the Arbiter Central Hub and download it in a PDF version, and there it has 41 signals. And
Yeah.
the 41st signal we're going to learn about here in number 6.
Yeah. The question was WOA basketball signals, not NFHS basketball signals. So that, like Errol said, that's a little tricky if you're not reading that right. If you go to the NFHS rule book, it's only going to show 39, but the WOA has 41.
Yep.
So I do have a question for you guys.
Sure.
I agree partially to what you guys saying. All right, 39 in the book. Jason said that the flop signal is not in the book. The flop signal actually is number 15 in the book.
In the mechanics book, in the
Yes.
WOA mechanics book.
Yes. So it is
Oh.
listed there.
You're talking about the NFHS manual.
Yes.
So the 2002 NFHS or the 2002 mechanics book does not have
Yes.
flopping in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one. It was actually printed in 2022. So I mean, it was 2.5 years ago when it was printed. And so they're specifically talking about the old manual for WOA only,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's like, I think it's orange and white, that is only available on the Arbiter Central Hub for the WOA. So yeah, it is tricky.
Yes, very
You're
much
absolutely
so.
right. You're absolutely right if we change the word WOA to NFHS. But since they're talking about the old manual, the answer in there is going to be C.
I appreciate you guys clarifying that for us.
It is tricky, yeah.
So C41 would be correct on the test. All right. George Tierney, number 6.
It says, what signal is used for armbar?
Oh, I just saw that one.
And it's signal 41.
Yeah. So the assumption is that they're still referring to the WOA
Right.
book. So signal 41 would be correct.
Yeah, that signal is not in the NFHS manual. It's in the WOA manual. Well, I
Yep.
could be wrong on that one actually too. I don't remember.
No, that's
Stetson, you
correct.
might know. Is that an Oregon one, Stetson? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Okay.
We can move on.
Question
So that
7.
signal is just like that. Your arm in front of your face for the armbar,
Yeah,
because it's not really clear in the book.
there's a clear picture of it in the book. I'll see if I can find it here in a second.
I think you just put your arm in front of your face, like in volleyball over the net, right?
Yeah, I think it's in front of your chest, but
Yeah.
let me pull
Yep. It's just right here. Kind of shoulder length armbar, or shoulder height rather.
here, let me get this to the side. Yeah, okay, let's go on to,
Hey, it's Kirk. Can I ask a quick question? Because it may help the new people. When it comes to the WOA Mechanics Manual, that 3rd edition, Errol, that you have on your screen, is it fair to say there is no hard copy of that that's been issued over the last couple of years to our association?
Issued to our association? No.
Okay, so there are people who are myself included, who are walking around with 2 hard books, but there's a online version, for lack of a better term, that's
Yeah.
more updated.
Yeah, and it's on the Arbiter Central Hub, right on the right-hand side of the page. Anybody can download it.
I just think, yeah, some people might find that helpful.
Yeah, this is this. If you're seeing my screen, this is the signal with the lady. Notice it's not in front of her face. That'd be awkward. It is basically chest high.
Yep.
Where you'd make all your signals for the most part.
Okay. Question 7. Anna, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sorry. What does POE stand for? And that is point of emphasis.
I thought it was A, please officiate every day, but I was wrong. Just kidding.
That's what it is for John.
Okay. Question 8. Chris Kemp. Mr. Kemp, you there? You're on mute.
It's 8. What does drill 2.7 describe?
All right. I think we lost Chris Kemp. Let's go to Marcelo. Question 8.
What does Rule 2-7 describe? Got C, official general duties.
That would be correct.
Pretty simple.
Okay. We have another Tim M. I'm not sure if I know who Tim M is. Do you want to take question 9?
Sorry, I actually don't have, let me see if I'm sorry, I don't actually have a book, and so I'm just kind of following along here. The official uniform shall be, let me see, it should be pretty simple. It should be, I want to say, C, yeah. The black and white striped pants, black shoes, black socks, black whistle, black lanyard.
That would be correct. And for clarification, in the NFHS rule book, it doesn't mention the whistle and the lanyard, but that is in the officials manual. So
The best places to
yeah. So the whistle and the lanyard is part of the uniform. So those of you who like to officiate without a lanyard, you are breaking the uniform. Just saying.
Why is rule 4?
All right. Ed, rule 10 or question 10. Ed Summer. Mr. Summer, are you there? All right. Mr. Stover, you're up. Question 10.
Stover might be being listen only mode.
Do we have Rick Stover?
Yeah, he might be in listen only mode, Jason.
Okay. Who is iPad? Whoever iPad is, you take question 10.
Just for time's sake, let's move on. Like let's
Okay.
you guys got like 2 seconds to respond. If not, let's move on to the next one.
John Reinhardt.
There we go. He's off mute.
Rule 23, Article 23.2, A and B.
No, we're
Sorry,
still
we're-
on 10.
Okay, we're on number 10.
Question 10.
Oh, okay, defines the important terms.
No. Question
No.
10. Why is rule 4 one of the best places?
It gives definitions. Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
it
would be
defines the important terms.
correct.
Shit.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Steve Rawlings, if you're on question 11.
All right, question 11, I'm gonna go A, 4-23-1.
Go ahead and read the question if you want.
Okay, yeah, what is the rule for obtaining initial legal guarding position. And I put A.
Okay, so that one actually is B. However, the study guide, so Errol's got the correct study guide. The one I put off and that you may have printed off had the rule reference of 423.1 A and B. It's actually 423.2 A and B.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
downloaded it before last Saturday, that said 23.1 A and B, but the correct answer is exactly what Jason just said it was.
So so answer B is the correct one. All right,
Okay.
we're gonna go to
22.
Brian, Matt, and then Alvin. So Brian, question 12. Mr. Sullivan, are you up? All right, Matt Spence, question 12.
Let's see. In Rule 4, what section does it describe a common foul? I don't know that. I have to go back and look at those different sections.
Anybody want to help him out on question 12?
19.2.
Yeah, 19.2.
Correct. Rule 4, section 19-2. Okay. Alvin, number 13.
What does 4-48 govern? Or warn against? I'm looking for. Oh, I'm looking. I'm guessing because I only have the NHS book that it's D, A, and C.
So you would be correct. And those options are A is coach's conduct and C is bench conduct. Okay, question 14. Any volunteers for question 14? I think
I'll take it. Tim.
Okay, go ahead.
I got how many timeouts does each team get per game? I got B. 3 60-second and 2 30-second timeouts.
Correct. All right. Question 15.
All right,
Rule 6. Okay, go ahead.
So Rule 6C, 3, Article 8 describes what administration. I have jump ball.
That would be correct. All right, Phil, you want the next one?
Yep, 16. How do officials start the second, third, and fourth quarters? And I selected A, throw in from the out of bounds at the division line opposite of table, but opposite that table. So
correct. John Mateo, how about number 17?
I don't know. What is Rule 7? I don't even have my rule book. Rule 7 probably is violation and penalties.
That would be incorrect, sir.
Oh, player substitutions and equipment?
Look
Out of bounds and throw in.
Out of bounds and throw in.
All right.
John, it's actually keep your calendar updated and listen to the assigner.
I'm just trying to get my stuff done. That's how come I'm on here. So I'm doing
Gotcha.
No problem.
Nice.
I'm winging it every year. If I can pass it the first time and stay and make it the first time, that's my goal. But I don't study, I just do it.
Well, you're still looking good doing it, so you're good.
All right, question
I can
8.
pass it again.
Question 18.
I'll jump in.
Okay,
How many designated front court spots are there? It's 4. D.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, 19.
I'll take it. They have 10 seconds. Oh, how long does a free throw shooter have to attempt to try? D, 10 seconds.
Kerr, are you iPad?
No, I'm Kerr.
Oh, I don't see you. I didn't see you on there.
First name Chris, last Kerr. On my screen,
Oh, that's
I'm under
who you are.
Mateo. I'm under
Okay.
Mateo and above you, but that's just
Okay.
my screen.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Rule 20, or excuse me, question 20.
I'll take it. It says Rule 8, free throw. How many offensive and defensive players can occupy lane spaces? I have C, 2 offensive and 4 defensive.
That would be correct. All right, 21. Do we have Rick or Brian on? No.
So Phil will take this one.
right.
Rule 10-4 lists actions and behaviors that should earn a technical foul from whom, and I selected Delta for players.
Correct. All right, 22.
Where in Rule 10 are contact fouls and penalties described? D, section 10-7.
10-7. All right. Question 23.
I'll take it. What's the penalty for intentionally striking the backboard? I got A, player technical.
Correct. All right, question 24. All right, I'll take 24. When does the head coach lose coaching box privileges? That would be C, both A and B, which are a direct technical to the head coach and an indirect technical to the head coach. Okay. All right, 25.
After Rule 10, on what page do you find technical foul penalties? It's 79D.
Page 79.
Man, that was easy.
Okay. Any questions, clarifications on Study Guide 101? Anything you want to go back to before we move on to 201?
Yeah,
Not
how many
full-
bullet points are in the official's code of ethics?
And I think.
I think it's
10.
That was
It's
10.
10.
Yeah. And
I have one question though, because I just found this line of questioning odd. Like this sounds horrible. Who cares if it's 79 or 78? And like, it's just a weird concept. Whoever designed the test this year, are they looking for something? Because we could all know the rules. To John's point, is it Rule 7? Is it Rule 8? Is it Rule 5? As long as you know the rules. I just found this completely bizarre.
Can I jump in on that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, so Errol, you kind of know some people who, the guy who actually writes the state test. What's the thought process behind this? I actually kind of thought this 101 was kind of a wasted exercise.
Yeah, Stetson, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I actually liked what they did with the test kind of this year because it made you open up the book
Right.
and get in there and look at
Correct.
some stuff.
Well, that's the
So,
purpose of
Absolutely.
it.
yeah, which is the whole
Yep.
purpose of it in the first place. But this actually made you go in and you had to do some research to find a page number because it made you open up the book so you can look at some stuff.
So you're saying,
Right.
Stetson, some people don't actually open their books.
Some people do like they're doing right now is just get the test from us and go take it and never open up the book.
Fair.
Okay, anything else on 101?
That's all I would add to it. I mean, that's exactly what it
Okay.
was. So anyway,
Perfect. Let's get to 201 then.
all right.
Wait.
I'm going to take that one. Okay, let's do the blank ones. We're not giving it away immediately. Okay. This one's pretty simple. Everybody should get this one right. Prior to the game, the officials are required to ask each head coach, does your team have a medical professional trained in concussion management?
True.
Yes, sir. It is true. Number 2, after being removed from signs, these questions are on the test every single year, or at least on this practice test. After being removed for signs or symptoms of a concussion, a player must be evaluated by proper medical personnel returning or prior to returning to play. Who is responsible for ensuring the player has been properly evaluated?
Head coach.
Anybody disagree with head coach?
That's it.
All right. Rabbit, can you take number 3?
After being removed for showing signs or symptoms of a potential concussion, a player is approved by appropriate medical personnel to return to play. A few plays later, the player is once again showing signs of a potential concussion. What should be done? Sent off for evaluation.
Yeah. That one's
Yep,
been
that
on
is
for-
our responsibility, and that can happen 38 times if it needs to. It's really on the head coach. We just have to follow the protocol. So every time that you see a player with signs of concussion, you send them off, and that's the end of our responsibility. But you have to do it every time.
Yeah, so it's not our responsibility here in line C. This is the head coach's responsibility. We are only responsible for B. Good. Okay, number 4. Stover, you got that? I see that you just unmuted.
Well, I tried. Team A is ahead 52-10 in the third quarter. B1 fouls A1 in the act of shooting. When should the game clock be stopped? And that is when the official reports the number of free throws to be attempted.
That's great.
After he completes his table presentation.
That's correct.
Letter D. They changed this question a little bit this year. Last year, because some people figured, sometimes on the preliminary call, you'd go, tweet, white 22, going up, shooting 2. That's not that call of the free throws. It's when you report it to the table. So that's the clarification this year.
To the table.
And that is available on the central hub for the WIA Mercy Rule, not in the NFHS manual. All right, number 5. Somebody speak up.
Phil here. Is the closely guarded rule in effect during a dribble for the 2024-25 season? I said no.
Okay, anybody have any different opinions?
Yeah. When did they change that, Phil?
Phil, that's what I was going to ask. What's your reason for no?
Hold on.
I'm with Phil. They've changed it nationally, and I don't think we're accepting it in Washington.
Oh, we're not. Oh, dang it! See, so
no,
that's
Phil,
what I thought.
I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
They have changed it nationally. I swear, NFHS has changed the closely guarded, and Washington isn't. Maybe
You know what, Chris? Now that you say that, that's why I said that. And at the WOA conference, they were going to get back to us to see if the WOA was going to accept that.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's the test answer?
So
no,
okay,
Phil, I'm with you.
So I guess the answer would be yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Before you go there,
ahead.
Phil. So in
Go ahead.
the book, page 33, Rule 410, in the exception by state association, adoption, if initiated, the 35 seconds clock and closely guarded is not in effect when the player is dribbling the ball. So the state has to adopt it.
So I got so I said what I said. I remember that now at the conference that they were going to see if they're going to adopt it. But I guess the answer should be Alpha A.
Yeah,
Until
yeah,
adopted.
And that was the question.
I
I asked Neil that question to see if he or John knew of anything, and they had reported. I think Neil reported that there was no change. So it is up to the state.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the state did not adopt it, making the answer A yes. Is that a fair statement?
That's correct.
Yep. So if you go to page 64, Rule 9, number 10, the note tells you that it is still a 35-second. With the shot clock, you still have to count.
We just reward good defense in the state of Washington.
Hey, amen.
They want officials to exercise both arms.
See, Phil was confused because he's never called it before.
So
But he knew,
I'm
but he
guessing
knew the exception. But Phil knew the exception.
He was a step ahead of us.
Well, here's how you find the answer. You go to the central hub on the left-hand side. It has a shot shot clock rules for WIAA, they are exactly the same as they were last year. This rule was in effect last year for the shot clock, so it's in effect this year. They did discuss it at the conference this summer, and what they said was they can't change any of those rules until at least January of this year. So if it's going to change, it won't be until the next season in Washington. So the answer is A. Number 6, who's got it? This one's an easy one. And I will take it. With the alternating possession arrow favoring Team A and 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock, A1's try for goal lodges between the backboard and the ring. The shot clock should be reset to 30 seconds. I don't know why anybody would think this is nuts. Yeah, I don't know
Who
why.
had? Well, so that could trip some people up. Who had a 14 seconds? Anybody? Because I think what can trip you up is
they maintain
having
possession.
it lodged, but what you don't realize, some people don't realize, is when it lodges, it hits the rim. So that actually tripped me up years ago. So that can easily be one that you miss.
Good point. Good point.
Okay.
7, Bollinger, why don't you take that one?
All right. During the game, one official hears a fan using language that is inappropriate toward his or her partner or an opposing player. The proper procedure would be, and this is one that again is one that can trip you up. The correct answer is D. At the first dead ball opportunity, alert game management supervisor what happened, who was involved, and ask them to take care of the fan. Now, why this trips you up is because according to the rule book, it should be B, stop the game. However, the WOA wants us to wait till a dead ball. So by the federation rule, it would be B. And that's why in the question it says, according to the WOA and WIAA, we are to wait till the next dead ball opportunity. Any questions on that?
So you're saying we don't stop, turn around and yell at the fan to knock it off?
That's what I'm saying.
Or turn around, take off our whistle and hand it to them? We don't do that? Okay. All right. Number
wait a minute, guys.
8. Alvin?
Go ahead, Alvin. Alvin, you had a question?
Is the reference to the WOA rule or the NFSA?
It's the references to the WOA. It's right as part of the question. It says according to the WOA.
Well, so the reference on the guide takes you to the rule book. However, in the question, it mentions the WOA, WIAA, which is on the central hub.
Yeah, that's what that confused me. Okay, thank you.
That will throw you off. That will throw you off for sure.
And I'll tell you, Alvin is different in Oregon because we have to stop it immediately.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I only officiate soccer in Oregon. Sorry.
Okay, number 8. Who wants number 8?
I'll go ahead and take it.
Okay, George.
The A1 commits their 5th foul, and the official is notified by the score that A1 is disqualified. After the official notifies A's head coach of A1's disqualification, but before A1 is substituted for, A1 curses at an official and a technical foul is called. Which of the following is not true? Well, this is number 8. I put had D. A1's technical foul was only charged to A1 since A1 had not been substituted for.
And so this is why the order of how you report that is important. You
Right.
report it to the coach first, because as soon as you report it to the coach, they then become bench personnel.
Yeah.
And anything that happens after that gets charged to the coach. So you report it, coach, that's 5. Then you're going to go to the table, report the foul, have them, give you the substitution interval. But once you report it to the coach, they are now bench personnel.
Well, hold on. It's both of those things have to happen. You have to report it, and he has to be substituted for.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of the question. Okay.
Once you report it, he is bench personnel.
Well, that contradicts the answer to this question then, because it says right here, but before A1 is substituted for.
Before.
That's just part of the question. That's not saying that that is
Well,
the
that's what I'm-
procedure.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this is why it can trick people up.
Right.
Yeah, I've screwed this up before in a game with you, Jason. You remember? Anyway, that was a long time ago.
I think Rick had more to say on that.
Yeah, once you tell the coach, at that point, it doesn't matter if he's been substituted for. He has become, by definition, bench person.
Correct. That's correct.
So is the
So
answer?
that's
is
why.
D?
Yeah. So that's why we report it to the coach first.
Jason, would you clarify? Because when you say we report it to the coach first, we've in most cases we've reported the foul, and thus now we found out from the table it's the fifth, and then we go to the coach. So I've reported it to the table. Oh, by the way, that's 25 White's fifth. Hey, coach, that's 25 White's fifth. At that point, I'm totally with Rick. Anything that happens after that, he's bench personnel. But there, I don't know of a situation where I would advise the coach prior to my quote reporting to the table.
It depends on when you're notified. So if you have a scorekeeper that is on top of, usually as I'm going to the table, they're holding up 5. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Hopefully you do.
They're really good.
That tells you that player has 5, and I'll confirm. I'll confirm. Is that 5 on them? Okay, coach, that's 5. And at that point, now if you don't find out till after you reported, then they tell you it's the same thing. Coach, that's 5, and that's when the interval starts, even though you've already reported the foul.
Okay.
Because you didn't know before then. So it's whenever the coach is notified, at whatever point that happens.
Really, so just an interesting mechanics question then. So if that really good scorekeeper puts that 5 up when you're walking over, are you going to the coach prior to actually reporting the foul at the table?
No.
Report the foul to the table.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it could be a case where now they've told you, and now you've called the last 4 fouls on that guy and maybe the last 10 fouls on that team. Hey, partner, I need you to go over and tell the head coach of White, 25 White has his 5th foul. Okay, so he still doesn't know yet. You make the exchange. Your partner goes over and tells the coach. And now at that point, that kid becomes bench personnel.
Well, no, not necessarily, because he has 15 seconds to substitute for that player. So,
but he becomes bench personnel as soon as it's reported.
But Errol, he's bench personnel the minute on the announcement. Yeah.
Can you support that from the rule book?
Absolutely. We can get into that. I can definitely show you that in the rule book.
Okay, then if you can, then this question's wrong. That's what I'm saying. So this
it's not.
It says after the official notifies A's head coach. So the coach has been notified, but it says before A1 is substituted for. So how is that possible if you're correct?
Question. Can I jump in, guys?
Please, Stas.
I'm listening to this. So I think kind of what Chris is saying, we have to follow what our mechanics and our duties are.
Yeah.
We blow our whistle, we raise our hand, we give a CNN at the spot, and then we're supposed to go report to the table. We're not supposed to go directly to a coach. Our job is go to the table, and then that table will then give us that information. Now we take it to the coach. Then we go back to the table and tell them to give you the time to get the replacement in. Yeah. Those are our duties. We got to follow our duties. We can't go foul on 55 and then go directly to the coach before going to the table.
Right.
That's not the correct procedure for us as officials.
And the question is, which is not true?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
So
D is not true.
So Errol, if we look at these rule references that it mentions.
Right, Jason. I'm doing it for argument's sake. So remember.
I get it. And that's why I want to read this. So in 284, it says notify the head coach and request the timer to begin the replacement interval, and then notify the player on a disqualification.
Absolutely.
And then 414.2 says a player is officially disqualified and becomes bench personnel when the coach is notified by an official.
Right. So I remember
by rule, it doesn't matter when that player is substituted. I think they added this as part of the question, just
Yeah,
or
the
information.
same question's been on the test, I think, a couple
Yeah.
years in a row now. I remember getting this wrong the first year on the practice test, and somebody had to explain to me, and I argued about it for 5 minutes and looked up the rules, and I'm like, come on. And then I went and reread it, and it says, which of the following is not true? And I spent this whole time trying to prove why it was true, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I misread the question. So
Yep.
the idea is, yeah, you get one thing in your mind and you go through it, and dang it, you think of like, well, there's a substitution period of 15 seconds and da da da. Yeah. So in other words, you have to read the whole dang question, not like me and only read part of it. So anyway,
Okay.
number 9.
Moving on.
A1 is fouled by B1. It's the team B's 5th foul of the quarter. Official gives team A the ball for a throw in. A1 throws the ball and A2 scores 2 points. Table hits the horn and informs the official it's team B's 5th foul of the quarter. The official should allow the score. Have A1 shoot 2 free throws with no one lined up along the lane line. After the free throws, official gives the ball to team B for a throw in anywhere along the end line. Does anybody know why that's the right answer? Because this one's a little tricky as well. Anybody have any thoughts on this?
You're not supposed to take points.
First of all, you have to count. First of all, you can't disallow the basket just because.
Yeah, it's going to be C or D.
So that makes the first two, or the first, then
Yeah,
B automatically wrong.
So yeah, that's exactly right, John. So it's going to eliminate A and B, but it's a point of interruption thing. So you're going to stop it at the point of interruption and then restart it at the point of interruption. And so that's the difference. It's whether they're lined up along the lane line or not. So here it's with no one, and the difference is that this one is not right because it has players lined up along the lane line. Then you're just making stuff up if that's the case.
Because the point of interruption is the made basket.
Right.
Now, if it was before they shot, then you would line them up just like a regular free throw. But because the made basket, that's where you will resume play after the free throws.
Right.
So
that one was a little
moving
tricky. Number 10, who's got it?
I'll take 10. It's Tim. A1
Tim,
appears to
go
be
for it.
injured. The official beckons A's coach to come onto the floor to attend to their player, but the head coach does not come onto the court. A moment later, A1 gets up and appears ready to play. It's the proper procedure. I selected D, both B and C. A1 must leave the game until the next sub opportunity after the clock has correctly started. And C, A1 may stay in the game if the coach uses a timeout. And I'm basing that because the official beckoned the coach to come onto the court. Even though they didn't, they were requested to come on.
yeah, so this is a slight rule change this year. The rule before says beckon and come on the coach or come on the court. Now it says beckon or come on the court. So whether we beckon them or not, if they come onto the court, they have to either remove the player or burn a timeout to keep the player. So now it just kind of clarifies it's one or the other. If one or the other happens.
Jason, can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I think we have to use discretion on that because if a kid goes down, we think he may be injured, and if we beckon the coach on too soon and the game is tied 10, 20 seconds left, and that's his best player, even if the coach says, I don't want to come on the court. Well, that's too bad. I already beckoned you. So we have to be careful not to be too quick to beckon a coach because that player may be ready to play, and that may affect the outcome of the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you use your best judgment. If you're waiting 30 seconds, that's not really wait too long. Wait a couple of seconds. Like me personally, I will look at the coach to see if I'll first look at the player and see if, okay, is that player able to get up? I'll look over the bench, see if anyone's coming onto the court. If no one's coming onto the court, if I feel like, hey, he or she needs to be tended to, then you can beckon the coach on. So yeah, you're right, John. I don't know that there's a magic formula for that. So yeah, you definitely have to use good judgment.
You can also ask the player, do you need a sub?
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Okay.
11.
Number 11.
So sorry. So that is So how could it be both? How could
So-
it be B, A1 must leave the game?
Unless
C happens.
But that's not what it says. It doesn't, there's not like an unless.
Mike, they're buying, it's the quote, not the correct term, buying the entry with the timeout. There are certain circumstances where in the book, it's like, okay, your player has to leave. Well, if you're willing to buy it, quote unquote, with a timeout, you can keep them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weird order of phrasing of the
A1, so they have to leave the game,
Yes.
but
Right. You
they
can
may
buy
stay in
it.
the game if
Yeah.
the coach uses a timeout. So
Timeout grants
I
them the
get-
next sub opportunity. That's what that does. Their
What's
next
that,
sub
John?
no, their next sub opportunity is at the end of that timeout. So that's how they buy them back in. If they don't use that, the next sub opportunity is after the clock has started and then stopped again.
Exactly.
Well, except it's different than a substitution because let's say you substitute a player and then the team automatically calls a timeout. That player that came out can't come back on until the clock has started again. So it's slightly different than just a regular substitution. But as far as an injured player, that would be correct. Okay. Number 11. Oh, Errol's got a rule book up.
I was just gonna read it, but
yeah. So it was just weird. It just seems kind of finite that that A1 must leave the game. That doesn't seem like that's really should be part of the answer because they have the option to stay in the game if a timeout is used.
so this
I didn't
is
write the test.
Yeah, this is the same rule as last year, Mike. This part of it anyway. So it says a player who has been injured to the extent that the coach or any other bench personnel is beckoned or comes onto the court shall be directed to leave the game unless a timeout is requested.
That's fine. Then put unless. It's just weird to have those answers the way.
I think we're splitting hairs.
Well, Mike,
here,
That's good. We are.
Mike,
Let's go.
It's shall be versus must. And to your grammar, you're correct. Yeah, the rule
Okay.
book says shall be. The test says must.
Moving on. Number 11.
Jason, do you want to move on?
I want to move on.
John, Ryan, Rabbit, can you take 11?
As long as the answer is D, I'm cool.
A32 has hard beads at the end of long braids, which are secured close to the head and a tightly wrapped bun. During play, A32's bun becomes dislodged and the beads become dislodged and fall on the court. So the no penalty, stop play, clear the floor, and make them secure the adornments.
Does anybody have anything different on that? For number 11?
I would only have anything different if it happens a whole bunch of times or like multiple times.
I think you go delay a game on that.
Yeah, if it happens more than once, they got to have proper equipment to be on the floor.
Yeah, you could argue failure to have the court ready. I think it's failure to have the court ready after a timeout. So it would be a tougher sell if it's like during live play. But yeah,
like John said,
it's not a technical foul, is it?
Right.
Even though we might want to issue a technical foul.
Like Mateo says, I think it should be a delay of game, but then they aren't making you do that.
Yeah.
But the right answer is B.
Okay, 12.
No penalties assessed, really? Okay.
Yeah, just for the initial time. If it just happens once, you treat it like a knee brace falling off or something like that.
We're assuming this is a one-time occurrence.
Yeah, if this happens just once.
So I would be careful with that, the way you guys are answering
the
that.
beads are still that they're hard beads, right? I mean, are the beads legal or illegal?
Beads are legal if they are secured tightly to the head.
If they're
tight. The secured close to head is the giveaway.
All right.
They can't be like flopping around in a ponytail. They got to be secured to the head.
All right.
So
no technical. I'm with you. Okay.
I think Stetson has a good point on that. But
yeah, I mean, you
if
guys are saying that if
happens
it
2 or 3
continues to
times,
happen, if it happens more than once, and you guys want to penalize it differently, how can you defend that in a court of law when we have a written statement on what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah,
guys can't change that on your own. Do something different.
that's what I'm saying. It's just like proper equipment. Like if they don't have a shoe on or their shoe breaks, whatever, they can't fix it. Treat it something like that. They need to have proper equipment. And so if it's not deemed proper equipment, that would be your only leg to stand on because there's no support in the rule book about offering a delay there. So yeah, the only thing you could possibly stand on is not having proper equipment. I don't know of any other rule that you can back up with the rule book. So anyway,
Yeah.
the answer is B.
Only thing, like one of the warnings for delay, there's 5 now. Failure to have the court ready for play following any timeout. So that would be like, they pull the chairs on the court or something like that, or have their water bottles out there. That would be the only thing by rule that you could use.
Yeah.
Okay. 12.
I'll take 12. This Martinko.
Okay, Tom.
Visiting team B has red jerseys. B1 is wearing a black undershirt. B2 is wearing a red undershirt. Officials allow both undershirts to be worn. The answer would be B, incorrect procedure. Although both of them are legal, they can't be worn together.
Correct.
It's got to be either all black or all red.
Everyone's got to have the same color. Correct. All right, 13.
I can take 13. This is Mike.
All right, Mike.
13. A1's try is in the basket when A2 touches but does not grasp the net. The ball continues unimpeded through the basket. The official should rule. I have C, legal goal.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, this is a rule change this year. Touching the net is legal as long as it doesn't interfere with the basket. So it was illegal last year. This year it's legal. 14. Who wants 14?
This is Phil.
Go Phil.
All right, Phil.
Yep. In the first period, Team B's bench receives a 4-48 bench decorum warning. In the third period, B1 is called for traveling. B1 doesn't like the call and holds onto the ball while walking away from the official and drops the ball on the floor. The official should, I selected A, issue a team technical for the second warning on Team B.
What? Okay, explain that one.
Oh, no, sorry. It's B. It's B. Issue delay game warning. Team B. Sorry.
But that's a good point. Why isn't it A? Why isn't it A?
Because it's not a team technical. Yeah, it's a delay game warning. Yeah, it's not a team technical.
Because the first one was just a bench decorum warning, not a delay of game.
Right.
So now we have just their first delay of game. So that's why it's not a technical.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right. Marcelo, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I'm on.
All right. Awesome. You want to take number 15?
Okay. Number 15. No warnings have been issued to either team. A1 attempts a 3-point try. B1 closes out to defend and does not make contact with A1. After releasing, A1 falls to the floor to simulate being fouled. The try is unsuccessful. What should the official do? Good question. Whistle.
So this is our new faking being fouled rules, procedures.
So here's kind of when an offense flops, do we blow the whistle immediately or do we signal first or allow play to continue? Is it going to be A, B, or C, or is it going to be D or E?
F delta.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Would be D. That's what I'm reading.
Okay.
Anybody have a different answer?
It'd be A. Need the offense commits the flop, they should blow the whistle immediately.
That is
Flight
correct.
of the ball would still count.
So this is part of those best practices that Errol put up on Arbiter. So when we have a shot, this is an unsuccessful try. So what happens when we have a try? There's no team control, right? So we have a try, but we have to blow the whistle on the flop immediately. So we're going to immediately blow the whistle, signal the flop. Okay, ball's dead. Report that to the table, and then we resume play with AP arrow because there is no team control. Now, if we had a made basket, then we would resume as if any other made basket. So in this case, same procedure, tweet, flop signal, report the warning, and then team B would get the ball because A made the attempt.
And then they can also run the line.
Correct.
So C is the right answer.
No, it's A.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
You go on.
Yeah.
Immediately blow the whistle, signal flop, report the warning to the table, resume play with the AP on this one. Okay.
So it depends on whether the try is successful or unsuccessful.
I
Okay.
have a question. If a guy's taking a 3-point shot and he comes down and falls, it's also possible that he just falls because he lost his balance. He's not necessarily looking for a foul or a flop, right? You have to like judge.
Right.
Well, it says he simulates being fouled, so he does something to make it look like he was fouled.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not always him trying to or her trying to flop. It could be just the act of shooting. When they come down, it's possible that they fall. So it's not always a flop, right?
You're right. That's a
Correct.
judgment call. That's the way we have to be careful. We don't judge that too quickly.
Usually what happens when someone's faking is they'll come down completely on both feet, and then they'll kind of buckle and go to the ground. If they're falling, they're probably not coming down clean. So that's one indicator you can use. But yeah, you're right. It can be a tough call.
Flopping, you know it when you see it.
So number one, if you're shooting a 3-point try, you're going to watch them all the way up and all the way down, right? Right, Tim, you got the shooter. You're watching them all the way up and all the way down.
Right.
So you shouldn't be any. You should have a clear vision. You're not going to be guessing on it. You're going to be able to know if it's a flop or not.
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, he'll basically, if he acts like he got fouled, right?
No, if what would happen is if your eyes start watching the ball, you won't see the full play, and then you could guess.
If he acts like he got fouled, it's possible he got fouled, right? So we can't just say, oh, he's trying, it looks like he got fouled, because what if he actually got fouled, but we were watching the ball, like John.
We're watching the ball.
We've got to stay with that shooter.
Yep.
We absolutely got to stay with that shooter. Make sure that shooter comes all the way down. Make sure we know if their defender made any contact. If we're watching the ball, we are completely guessing on that.
So I have a question of clarification. In high school, and this is all new for all of us, it's immediate though. That's the word immediate is kind of resonating in my head. So as soon as I see that person flop, offense or defense, I'm supposed to crack a whistle?
No.
Offense.
So this is talking about offense.
It's only offense for this test question.
For this, because again, this is why I'm going to harp on this again. Everyone needs to go read those best practices because it gives you specific that this is what you do if this happens. Okay, so everyone should go read that. This test question is simply talking about the offense. If the offensive player is flopping, you are going to blow immediately. If the defense flops, say like on a block charge, you're going to give the signal, but you're not going to blow your whistle till the next dead ball opportunity.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go over this. We have a meeting Sunday, right?
No. We have a meeting in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, we don't have a meeting this Sunday?
No.
That one's
John, I'll be at your special meeting. Don't worry.
Hold on.
It's like December 1st or something like that.
We just had one on the November 3rd.
Yeah, with Bart.
December 1st.
But Jason, you understand my
sweet.
question.
So our next meeting is not till December 1st.
And it's Zoom. Yes.
Yeah, we had a meeting like 8 days ago, and then we had a clinic 2 or 3 days ago. And then we have this meeting tonight, and then our next general meeting is on the 1st.
So you're saying that if they make the basket, you blow the whistle immediately and do your signal. If the basket, you count the basket. If the basket goes in, then you just give Team B the ball, just as if it was a regular basket. But you report the warning to the bench. I mean, the table.
Correct. But for this test question, the try was unsuccessful.
Right.
So you're going to resume with AP arrow. So if Team A had the arrow, you're going to blow your whistle, flop signal, report the warning to the book, and then Team A gets the ball at wherever the ball was when they shot it.
I think
So
some of the stuff that's being said on here, guys, you guys really need to get in and study this as much as you can, because it's totally different. It's totally different when the defense flops. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. If the defense is flopping, they can get up to a 7-point play on one possession.
Yep.
So you guys have to study it and understand it.
And on that note, Errol posted a great video on the YouTube channel that talks about this and gives some really good clips. So everyone should go watch that video as well.
That's it, YouTube, and it's at EBOA videos.
All right, 16.
Let's see here.
Who wants 16?
I can take it.
Okay.
So the following causes the alternating possession arrow to switch. I had A, because the throw-in ends when the thrower releases the ball.
So you had A?
Yes.
Anybody have anything different?
C. I had C.
C.
Yeah, the correct answer is C.
Yeah.
So if A1 commits a 5-second violation prior to releasing the throw-in, they have violated the AP throw-in. So Team B is going to get the ball, and Team B will also get the next AP throw-in. So Team B commits a kicking violation. Remember, Team B is on defense. They're inbounds. So Team B commits a kicking violation. Let's say Team A throws the ball in. Team B kicks it. Team A is going to get the ball back for a throw-in, but they're not going to lose the AP throw-in. It's still going to be an AP throw-in.
And the throw-in technically is ended when legally touched.
Right. And so a kicking violation is not a legal touch.
That's why A.
Therefore, yep. So 16 is C.
So Phil, I'll be kind of a jackass. It's the throw-in changes when it's team control in high school.
No.
Not just touch.
No.
It's touched. It's touched in college and team control in high school.
No. Legally touched in high school.
All right.
It is. Yep,
Okay.
it is.
We just did this last night, so I will double check.
Yeah. So the correct answer is C.
Yeah, I will, because we pre-gamed this last night. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, thank you.
Language.
We are recording this, Chris.
Sorry, but Errol and sorry.
All right. 17.
Alvin, you got this?
Sure. A1 is located in the front court and passes the ball toward A2, who is also located in the front court. A2 is not looking. The ball strikes A2 and rebounds back into the back court. A1 touches the ball first when standing in their backcourt area lane. Official calls backcourt. Thank you. Official calls backcourt violation on Team A. Team B will throw in will be from, and the answer is A. nearest designated, oh, I'm sorry, at the division line.
That's right.
Yeah, nearest designated spot, 3 feet outside the line.
Yeah, so team B is getting the ball in their front court after a violation, right? So we're going to go with 4 spots, and it's 3 feet outside the lane line because the violation occurred in the lane area. The violation doesn't occur until A1 touches that ball, and they touch the ball in the lane area. So that's why that's where the violation occurred. That's why we have the throw in outside the lane line. Make sense?
This one tripped a few people up. I've had many people ask me about this one, and the key thing to there is when you picture a backcourt violation, it's usually right on the other side of the division line. But in this case, it's very specifically at the end of the question that says in the lane area. So that's why A is the correct answer instead of like B or C.
Yeah, the throw-in will always be where that violation occurred.
At the spot nearest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they saying that then since it's team B's front court, should it be at the baseline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseline designated spots?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the answer is. Lane
Okay.
line.
On the end line.
So the lane line meaning the free throw lane.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
No.
All right, 18.
Okay, who wants 18?
I'll go.
I'll take okay.
Brad will do it. The alternating possession arrow is pointing towards team A. On a held ball situation, team B is inadvertently given the ball for the AP throw-in. B1 inbounds to B2, who begins dribbling up the court. The official realizes that they gave the ball to the wrong team. Official stops play and gives team A the ball for a throw-in at the original throw-in spot, which is correct.
That is correct. I believe that rule changed last year where if we make a mistake on the throw-in, we can correct it up until there is a change of possession. So in this case, there was no change of possession, no basket scored. So we can simply blow our whistle, go back to where it should have been and play on. Okay, 19.
I'll take it. It says on the release of the ball by the free thrower, A1, but prior to the ball contacting the rim, B1 crosses the free throw line and enters semicircle to box out A1 and illegally displaces A1. Official rules, I have D, delayed violation and foul on B1.
Correct. So we could potentially have a violation and a foul on the same play. But if it's a delayed violation, we're going to wait to see if that ball goes in.
How many shots?
Depends on whether we're in the bonus or not. If we're not in the bonus, then it's a throw-in.
So Jason, will you clarify? We have a delayed violation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a violation.
Mm-hmm.
Ball goes in. We still report the foul.
Yeah. So let's talk through this. So let's say it's shot number. Let's say it's shot number 1. Okay. And one of the defensive players, team B, steps in to the lane and into the free throw semicircle and displaces the free throw shooter. Okay, so we had a violation for them stepping into the semicircle, and we had a foul for displacement. Okay, so we're going to hold out our fists to the side for a delayed violation, because if that shot goes in, then we have nothing as far as the violation is concerned. We'll still have the foul. So we would call the foul. That free throw shooter would get the second shot with the lanes cleared.
Yep.
And then we will administer the foul, whether that's 2 shots or whether that's a throw-in.
Jason,
So in in that
Exactly.
situation, if that happened on the first shot, they're going to get that second shot with the lanes cleared, and then you take care of the foul.
Jason,
If there's shots remaining, we would do that. Yeah.
what do you report to the scores?
So you'd report the foul.
Wow.
You'd blow your whistle. You'd say lane violation on blue 23, right? And then, well, it depends. If let's say the shot was no good. So lane violation, blue 23. So at that point, and then we've got a foul. So at that point, they're gonna get a substitute free throw and a second free throw, and both are going to be with the lanes cleared. So you're going to call the violation, then you're going to go report the foul, blue 23, clear the lanes. That original free throw shooter gets the 2 shots, and then you administer the foul as you normally would. Again, it could be 2 shots if we're in the bonus, or it would be a throw in.
Penalize the acts in the order they occurred.
Yeah. And just think about it, because so those layered players are difficult. Separate the two. Okay. How would you administer it if you had just the lane violation? You're gonna give him a substitute free throw, right? What do you do if he gets fouled? Administer it that way.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, number 20.
I can take 20. A1 is dribbling the ball at the top of the key. A2 runs out of bounds along the end line and comes back inbounds near the 3-point line. After A2 returns inbounds, A1 passes the ball to A3, who passes the ball to A2 for a wide open 3-point attempt. The official rules, the answer I put is C, legal play.
That is correct. They can do that as long as they're not the first to touch the ball when they return inbound. So in this case, they were not the first, so that's a legal play.
Yep, that was new last year.
Yep. All right. 21. Let's go back to Chris Kemp, if you're there. If not, all right, Chris Kerr, I just saw you unmute. Take that one.
Oh shit! I shouldn't hit that. I heard Chris K. A1 is located in the backcourt and passes the ball towards the front court. B1, located in the front court, taps the ball back to the backcourt. A1 jumps from the backcourt, catches the ball before it hits the backcourt, then lands in the front court. And
Incorrect.
Neil, yeah, and hang on. Neil had this at Battleground, and we argued it for days. One is in the back. Oh, back. I'm just going on a limb. Correct ruling. You guys can override me.
So that
Hey,
would be
correct.
That would be incorrect. B.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's way too much thought at this point. All right.
So
Ball never established front court status.
Front court status. Yeah, it's all right. All right. So the answer is B, incorrect, and I assessed it incorrect.
Yep. Okay, 22.
I'll take it.
A good question.
Team A submits Team A submits the roster with 8 minutes left on the warm-up clock and is assessed a technical foul. With 6 minutes left on the warm-up clock, B1 dunks. The game will start with both teams having one team foul, and I selected C, neither team shoots. The game starts with a jump ball, and both coaches retain coaching box privileges.
That is correct. So
they
we had
they cancel each other out, right?
we had one pregame technical on each team. So those are going to cancel each other out. We're not going to shoot free throws. We'll start with a jump ball. The coach keeps their coaching box. Only time we are going to shoot free throws is if there's an uneven number between teams, in which case the team with the fewest is going to shoot 2 shots, no matter how many there are. We're going to shoot 2 shots, and we'll start with a throw in.
Hey, as an aside, what's the best place to determine where or when a coach loses coaching box privileges?
Good question. So there is actually in Rule 10, the head coach's rule. That would be a good place to start.
Okay, thank you.
That would be 10-6.
And I think earlier on the test, it gave you the 2 situations, if it's a direct technical to the head coach or an indirect technical to the head coach.
Yeah. 10-5 is bench technicals, so those are going to be indirect to the head coach. Plus also on the other study guide, we mentioned the technical foul summary, which is on page 79. So those 3 places would be good places for you. All right, we got a few more. 23.
Errol, your favorite question.
I guess I'll take it. In the first quarter, A7 replaces A1. A few minutes later, A1 comes back in for A7. At the end of the quarter, the scorekeeper informs the officials that A7 is not in the book. Officials should. Before I give away the answer, what does everybody think?
Add him to the book.
See,
So I heard add him to the book, and I heard C. Does
Well,
anybody have, so C, disqualify A7? We're going to disqualify somebody for coming in? Okay,
No.
it's not C.
I say it's B. I mean, if he doesn't
I got
come back
B.
in, you
I
don't
got
have to
B.
add him if you don't want to.
Yep, I got B.
You still got to put him in the book.
Yeah.
No, and here's why. Because if you put
No,
him
you
in the
don't.
book, if you put him in the book, now you have to assess a penalty. So
Correct.
here's what the rule says. 10-1-2. It says you penalize when it occurs. So if he's come in and went out and you didn't recognize it, it has already occurred and it's too late to penalize it. So if you're putting him in the book, you then have to penalize it.
Right.
So
Right.
well,
Yep.
they basically got a free player. Now that you know A7 wasn't in the book, if he comes back in again, now you're gonna add him to the book and penalize it.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense.
Only put him in the book if you're actually going to carry out the penalty.
Even if he scored between him coming in and him going out.
Correct.
Just some mystery number there.
So those points are not going to go to any player.
Yeah.
So yeah, the penalty is not for the player being in. The penalty is when they change the book. So it's an administrative penalty, right? It's an administrative technical.
Administrative foul, yeah.
And so if he's not in there and the book hasn't been changed, you can't really go back and penalize him. I mean, that's the problem. So yeah, the correct
Preventive
answer is B.
officiating would be good in that situation. Make sure you count the players on the floor in pregame and make sure that it does not exceed the number of players in the book, so that you can avoid those situations.
Now, doesn't he become a player once he goes in and they start the clock? Then he becomes a legal player.
He's a player,
correct?
yeah.
He's a legal player.
But they didn't catch it then. They didn't catch it.
So, George, in this particular question, in this situation, that player does not exist, essentially.
Yep.
Because you got it now.
You can't put him in the book, because then you got to penalize it. But by rule, it says you can't put him in the book. It says you penalize it when it occurs, not after it occurs. Which Errol and I had a lot of discussion because I answered A, and I got it wrong. because I was confused on the wording of this, but the specific wording is penalized when they occur. So the correct answer is B. We cannot assess a penalty in this situation.
Makes sense.
One of those remote scenarios, though, that
Yeah,
might be
it's tricky.
Again, we can do ourselves a lot of favors if we can be good in pregame.
And you would probably have a good minor discussion with your scorekeeper at that point too, because
Oh, yeah.
there's no way they should not miss number 7 and not notating it in the book.
And I'm having a conversation with the coach too.
Yeah, this almost, I don't think I've ever seen this in a varsity game, probably even a JV game, but I've definitely seen stuff like this in a freshman game or a middle school game, or somebody just comes in and they're the scorekeeper, or they don't even have a scorekeeper. They just have somebody at the scoreboard, and they're doing that and trying to keep track of the score sheet. And it just, sometimes it'll happen. Just be aware of it.
All right, we
John,
got 2 more. Sorry, go ahead, Alvin.
John, would you mind going back and talking about the preventive measures that that we should be making to make sure that that we catch that?
Yeah, it's pregame. Phil can do that. Phil knows this really well.
Yes.
No, Phil knows because we had it at Washougal. No, it's a true story.
Oh my
And
God.
it's kind of
Yep.
funny, but this is how you really learn. And I had to deal with the whole thing.
That's funny because I had a thing with Phil at Washougal too. So
Did you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shoot. So we have 2 of the 3. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Alvin, it's just make sure you go over before the 10-minute mark is passed on the warm-up clock, and then just make sure that that visiting book has been presented to the home team. And again, exactly what Jason's been saying, you already know how many players are on each side. Make sure that that equals the book. And then at that point,
But
then
I mean, as when play starts, we're not we don't memorize, which players are in the book, which players aren't.
No. I think
No,
the
but
one
we've
thing Phil
already
maybe
counted
left out
both
there,
sides.
Alvin, is the main thing you want to get is the visiting book, the home book, or both of them, is just say, hey, where did you get your lineup from, right? So where we get a mistake is the home team will just take the visiting team's roster and put them in there. So it's a good preventative to ask the scorekeeper, where did they get the home team's roster? Where did you get each other team's roster? Because if they say from a program or for this or that, then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, if I'm the R, that is what I'm asking every single game.
Single time, yeah.
And then here's a little tip I learned, and I think I actually learned this from Phil. After I go over, check the book, and players all look good, got the right number, I'm putting a line under it and my initials. That way I can prove that there were no players, that they had 12 players or whatever. If they add someone below my initial or erase my initial, I know we've got an issue. So that's something that can help you.
And just remind the scorer and ask them, I guess, pregame, hey, just to help us when someone checks in, just to confirm that number is in the book. They may not need that reminder, but it might be helpful just to go over that, because somebody may report and they'll hit the buzzer to come in, and they may not necessarily check to see if that number's there, but a reminder to say, check that number. They'll catch it hopefully at the time that happens.
Well, they might, just because if it's the first time in the game, they have to mark what quarter they played. So that's usually when it happens, is they see 24 and they go to mark him as coming into the game. Oh, I don't have a 24. So that's usually when it happens, is that when that player first comes in.
If they know to do that.
Yep. All right, let's go on 24.
A1 has the ball near the division line, and the official calls out a foul on B1 after the whistle. So this is a live ball. A1 drives to the basket on a dead ball, dribbling several times, and dunks the dead ball. So if a player dunks a dead ball during the game, that is a player technical. That is A.
Yep. This is different than a pregame dunk because they are bench personnel when it's a pregame dunk. And we just had a question about that. But in this particular situation, they are a player in the game. So it is a player technical.
All right, 25, last one. In the first quarter with no 4-48 warnings have been issued, A1 is called for a foul, for a player control foul on the drive to the basket. As officials reporting the foul, Team A head coach is at the division line shouting and throws both hands in a wave-off gesture. The official should go ahead and assess a technical foul on Team A head coach, whether or not a 4-48 warning has been issued or not. This is a major offense.
An absolute.
We do not have to issue a warning first. So.
Betson, what do you got?
For those of you who have, been on this today and taken the test on both sheets, be careful when you go online to submit your tests because the answers are in a different order than what's on the paper.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
good stuff, Stetson.
Absolutely.
And then I would continue to say, as you're taking the test on your paper version, or however you want to do it, go ahead and indicate the number that was on that test, because at the very end, if you did get any wrong, which I don't think you should, but if you did, then you could then refer to your paper copy to see which one you got wrong.
All right. Anybody have anything you want to revisit on that study guide, or any questions about anything we've covered?
Thanks for taking the time to do this, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Errol.
Yeah,
No
really
problem.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
good
Excellent
luck.
job.
Hopefully, if you guys were keeping track of the correct answers, everyone should get 100%. So, if not, you can always go back and watch this. It will be on YouTube momentarily. So,
Yep. Appreciate you guys. And then,
All right,
Errol, what's the YouTube site again?
EBOA videos.
Video.
So if you YouTube,
Yeah,
and
in the
EBOA videos.
in the email for this meeting, there's a it's listed in there. So you just copy and paste that right into a browser, and it'll bring you right to it.
perfect.
Okay, guys, good night. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
If anybody needs to find stuff on Arbiter, I'm going to log in there real quick and show you a couple things on the central hub. There's a couple of questions on there, so I'll just show that real quick for this
Do we
recording.
want to stop recording before you do that?
I'm going to put it at the end of the recording real quick. So people were asking where the mechanics manual was. If you go on to the central hub, you click on you see your picture. Right next to your picture, you'll have a drop down box, and you go on to where it says official for Evergreen BOA. You should have one that says WOA Central Hub. Just click on that one, and it takes you right to this central hub, and everything you can think of is going to be right there. And let me move my controls here. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. Okay, so here's the handbook, executive board meetings. Let's go to basketball up here up top in the tab. And then down here we've got stuff we hopefully never need. But here's the mercy rule instructions, the adopted WIA stuff. Here's the shot clock stuff. Over here, we've got our study guides, of course. The mechanics manual is literally 2 down from where you got the study guide. So if you click on the mechanics manual, it'll pull up a PDF, and you can download that PDF right to your computer so that you've got it. So that's the most recent mechanics manual. Commentary on the rules changes, commentaries on the rules, points of emphasis, and the signal chart are all right there. All right, guys, thanks. Any other thoughts or questions for today?
Hey, Errol, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, just really quick, and you can stop recording if you want to.
All
It's
right,
just
I'm
a
going to stop
quick.
the recording now.
All right.